Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to ESL Southeast Championship Season 6 playoffs. We are about to get into the picks and pans of the second game of our series, GPLAY BG versus x25 eSports. My name is Jojo Troubling Paris. I'm here with Brody Ghosta, Vernon, to bring you the second draft.
Why, hello there. We're going to be getting into the second draft, and I don't know, we're going to I expect Desire ban, but they are going to probably, ban a few other champions instead, like get rid of the usual Callista, maybe Shen and Cassidon. Ezreal, I expect, also banned. So,
Another champion goes through the cracks. So far, GPLAY have tried to pull the most strong champions that are left out of whatever is not banned. So it isn't specifically they don't get specifically target banned, they just pick whatever is good that's left and they adapt it into their gameplay.
Oh yeah, and I think that's a great way to go, especially just with how the meta is shifting, how certain champions are doing a lot. I wouldn't say you have the S tier picks and then you have your S picks, and I don't know, you get Xin as one of the S plus tier picks, so getting him through, I don't know, it's kind of like I'd want to see that banned as well as the Ezreal instead of the Ornn, but I suppose they're gonna let it slip through, and then they just let Xayah slip through once again, and Rakan. So you let the two champions that were extremely painful last game, not only one of them through, both of them through, and then you paired with the Xin this time. That's gonna be a painful one.
So we do see both teams are opting to go for the exact same two comps that they had, with the only difference that Kha'Zix is a Xin Zhao this time, so that could be that could be making the laning phase even more painful for x25 in this instance.
Well, right now, Sejuani can't. Now, Sejuani is going to have a big problem. Sejuani is not going to be able to 1v1 as Xin, so especially Xin can outgank level 2, so that's going to be painful. You kind of can't really counter gank too much. You can't take these aggressions. You can't invade. You can't shut down the jungler. The jungler is just as much as a carry as Kha'Zix, maybe even more now with the way current Xin's just being extremely strong. So we do see the repeated Rakan Xayah versus the Karma Lucian. We saw, early game how well Lucian did. So let's see if they can do it again and maybe not make the mistakes by letting Xayah get a quadra kill.
Well, this time, though, that Orianna is not going to be a pick for x25's mid laner who wanted to play the Silt composition with the Lucian. It seems there is not going to be any Silts unless they have something in mind. They have another champion that has Silts that they can throw on the Lucian, or they are going to completely swap the way that composition plays around the Lucian. Let's see what they are going to opt to choose here. Taliyah is out of the game, as well as Malzahar.
I kind of expect that, and the Orianna as well. So the Orianna was kind of like a respect ban right now. They're like, that can catch us off guard, so let's get rid of it. Cassidon, getting rid of that ban, but they do manage to pick up Maokai, a steal.
Maokai is pretty good, especially when you want to be sieging.
They do get the Trundle, and last game, if you do want to play Maokai, one of the few things you want to kind of let go and ban is Trundle, because he's doing extremely well in the current meta. I wouldn't say he's a lane bully, but he's just got so much sustain. He's one of the few people who can actually 1v1 a tank like Maokai, so that's going to be painful. And Vladimir, I can't wait to see this.
And he is also a split pusher, which means that if you need to have your Maokai on a side lane 24/7, then he doesn't give you that Seed's teamfight potential that he gives when he's able to TP into the fight. We literally saw this last game. The second that Maokai was able to get into the fight, he was turning fights around.
Oh yeah, and they do pick up the Corki, and that is kind of counterpicking the Vladimir mid, but I do think right now, the Xin, Rakan, Xayah, Trundle, this early game pressure they're going to have, and just how much... Last game we didn't see too much. They let it get to, the kind of the late stage, and they just let it, slide away. But I don't think, x25 are going to have to play really safe, not to let the Xin get in ahead, let the Xayah start scaling even more ahead. So there's a lot we're going to be seeing in this game. And this could potentially be, the 2-0 series. So there is a lot on the line for X25, and I don't know, I'm excited. I haven't seen Vladimir mid in a long time, so let's get going.
Well, there definitely is. So they have X25 has swapped away from that previous team comp that they had in mind. That Lucian is no longer going to be the center of attention. There's also a Corky right there and a Maokai. So that looks more of like a team fighting comp than a pink comp. But on the other side, my oh my, you have a Vladimir who is able to sustain so much damage late game. You do have the Trundle who, in a good case scenario for GPLAY, is going to be keeping that Maokai very busy on the side lane and away from team fights, which is what ultimately GPLAY wants. And then they have a very strong core of 4 people along with Zin, Zaya Rakan and Vladimir who can stand their ground in the mid lane. So, team fight comp?
I don't know what to call here. They have so much damage in GPLAY. They have, I don't know how to put it, like X25 have got nice picks, they got the tank, they got what they wanted in the mid lane, they got the bot lane, but going up against, this team fight of Vladimir throwing out his ultimate, Trundle jumping in as the tank, Zaya, Rakan, perfect combination, and there's just so much damage there. Karma's going to get bursted, Sejuani can get bursted, Lucian can get bursted, even Maokai can get bursted with Zin there. So the team fight is probably going to be definitely in the favor of GPLAY with that one. And X25 are going to be playing a little bit more, I'd have to say, pick comp, where they want to use this Maokai to roam a little bit more and, lock down people and pick up 1 or 2 kills and, try and then use that to get into a 4v2 team fight or 5v3 or something. You don't want to go 5v5 against that. Definitely not.
We are going to be seeing very heavy team fight comms right here, and well, let's see how it is going to end up this time for one of these teams. Is X25 going to be able to take us into a game 3, or are we going to see a clean sweep for GPLAY?
Well, right now they have to understand that, okay, last game they kind of lost the game that they were winning. So right now it's going to be, okay, that last game didn't happen, reset the mentality, we're going into a new game, you got the whole, you have Sejuani, we've got, still our strong picks, we're comfortable in this, and now we're just going to change things up, take away the Maokai, and then use that to their advantage. So going to this, they have to realize that it's a clean slate, it's a different game, and then they can just try and, build up the advantage again, and this time close out the game before you start seeing Zaya pull off quadra kills.
We did, of course, see this, and we commented on that. Yesterday, Bontek versus THR. Both teams were able to reset completely from their lost games, and they literally showed a different face on the game after they lost.
Yeah.
So THR literally got stomped in the first game, and then they reset their mindset, went into second game, and they won it pretty convincingly. And then after that, after Bontek being beat, they do reset their mentality that time, and they managed to take it 2-1. Saying that, Bontek is the first team that has gone into the next phase of our online playoffs. And for what a lot of people want to know, and we haven't addressed yet, is the fact that the game between Different Dimension and Gucci Gang is right now tied 1-1. The third game, has been rescheduled for tomorrow, 23rd of November, and time 5:30 CET. Mark the clocks and mark the calendars, because it is going to be a Greek showdown tomorrow. The last game out of the best of 3 series. We are going to see which team is going to fall into the loser bracket and which team is going to go forward into that playoffs phase.
Oh, speaking of going forward and getting a nice bit of attributes, and especially a showdown, you can enter the exclamation mark giveaway if you want to win yourself an ESL 2.0 chair and some vouchers at the ESL shop. But there's also the exclamation mark brackets. You want to see the rest of the teams, instead of spamming when is this next game, you can also see where the other games are happening and where the teams stand. Exclamation mark cup if you want the information on the event. Exclamation mark commands, kind of I forgot, there's the other commands. And also, one of the last things, the biggest one is exclamation mark social. If you want to find out like what's happening, what images are we throwing at you, or what are we doing during the day. Some of us post our personal lives, that's kind of me, but you can find all your information there. So exclamation mark social for all of your social needs.
And if whatever he just said, you didn't understand something, or he just didn't reply to the question you had, well, happens. So if you didn't reply to any of the questions you had, you can simply go to esl.gt/officialsec, and there is every single information you need to know about the structure of the tournament, prize of the tournament, the teams, the brackets, the live event, literally everything you want to know. So make sure you go there if any of the questions you had have not been answered. And of course, make sure to give a follow to the stream and our social media to get to know where the next teams are going to be playing. And of course, again, don't forget tomorrow, mark the clocks and mark the calendars. 5:30 CET tomorrow. Gucci Gang versus Different Dimension showdown. Last match out of the best of 3. They are tied 1-1. But now we do have a team who is fighting to stay in the upper bracket, and that team is X25. They're 0-1 down against GPLAY BG, and GPLAY just want to take this clean sweep and get their day done with.
Oh yeah, like they are going, for them it's not a reset game. They're like, okay, look how well we came back in the last game, let's see what we can do, we can continue, we have the same picks, guys, let's just, you know, play it out, play it methodical, get into the groove of things and just go ahead and win it. But now that's where one team's not going to be resetting and one team is. So X25, they have, you know, their second chance to do this, and if they can do this, it takes it to the next map, and then that's where both teams are like, well, okay guys, fresh start once again. So there's a lot on the line for X25 right now. This is them, their backs against the wall, and this will be the decisive like blow towards this.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the actual compositions of the two teams. We do have sort of same mentality of both team comps like we did last game, but this time X25 have put the rise more into strongly team fighting rather than picking like a champion of GPLAY out and then killing them and then being able to siege, and what you said, like cleanly siege, like take a tower, reset, back off, take another tower, reset, back off, and blah blah blah. So right now we do see two teams that they literally want to like clash with each other.
Oh, yeah.
So that early game is going to play a big decision into that game. We did see the Zahir Rakan. It didn't do very well against the Karma Lucian in the previous game. These guys had 5 deaths between them in, I think, 12 minutes or something?
Yeah, like 11 minutes or so, yeah.
So what are we seeing early game?
Oh, early game. I'm going to give it to the Zin. I just have to give it to, you know, GPLAY getting that Zin pick. The Trundle top lane's going to start to be a little bit, I wouldn't say the best early game in terms of champions, but I just think the way they can play with those champions and the way they kind of pick them up going into making this new composition of theirs, I think they will have the early game advantage. As much as we saw last game how strong the Karma Lucian is, I think they kind of know what to expect in this early game. They're like, well, you see them being aggressive, we're just going to wait for them to overextend and then push against them. So I do expect a kind of like counter plays to come on board. So I do give it to GPLAY. But the team fighting comp, X25 have, you know, they have a chance going into this team comp. They do still have, you know, quite a tanky pick. They have Sedwani, you know, with her ultimate. They have the Lucian coming from the side, Karma if they need to disengage, and then they have Corki for a little bit more extra damage. So they're not out of this in the team fight comp as well.
Well, it is game time, ladies and gentlemen. We have just gone into the second game of this series. GPLAY is 1-0 up, and they want, like I said before, to get their day done with it. They want that 2-0. They want that clean sweep. They want that walk on the park. Which it wasn't really a walk on the park last game, let's be honest right there. But they do want to do it again, no matter how it happened, no matter how it was. And right now, the core of these two teams is the same. That bot lane is the same for both the teams.
I know, and like right now, what that means is if you have the exact same, I suppose you can kind of count the junglers out of this one. You can be like, well, okay, let's not look at them because they have different picks. But if you're looking at the exact same mirror image from both sides in the bot lane, that's going to be a big mentality game. They're going to know when they're going to go aggressive. They're going to know what kind of style they're playing, how they're going to be moving around. When do they take the poke? When do they, just sit back and farm? Do they wait in the bush for you? Where do they ward? What timing? You got all of this knowledge to use now going into this. So there's going to be a lot of pressure in the bot lane. And I think just, getting that Xin pick, we're going to expect to see him down there. And when he's down there, it's going to have to force, the Sejuani down there as well.
Well, let's see how the junglers are going to choose to start this time. We did see Sejuani starting from the blue side last time, but this time again, it's not going to be the blue side, but it's going to be the top lane. Both junglers starting from the top lane respectively, and we do have the first dangerous bush of the game. That Xayah and Rakan have gone in there, and if the Lucian chooses to go towards his bot lane from the wrong side, he is going to be paying for it, at least with a summoner.
I know, like that. That bush right there. You see Lucian stuck. He's just sitting there. So if he does get caught out, that's going to be very problematic. The last thing you want to do right now is just walk blindly down into your lane without checking the bush. So that's going to be an interesting to see if they just stay there and wait for Lucian to go there, or if Lucian's actually going to play the safe route and go all the way back around, which I kind of expect. You don't want to give away any of these advantages right now.
Well, we did see him walk back. He did take the safe route this time, which he didn't last game, and he did give that advantage that he had away in the last game. Hopefully, there won't be none of that if X25 want to survive and go through to game 3.
They did go for the blue buff start this time, so we could potentially see one of the junglers ganking top and one of them ganking bottom, but who knows what we're going to expect. We could even see a level 2 gank coming out of the Sejuani in the bot lane, which I kind of think is where they're going towards. And Corki early game was just being a bit painful.
He's already heading to the top lane. I interrupt you right here because I know this is either going to be a summoner or it is going to be first blood. And right as I say that, he just
stops.
Takes a turn from that tribush in the top lane and says, no, I ain't going to gank. I just fooled you all. I'm going to the red buff.
Well, that right there, I think he's going to wait a bit for it because like that gank would have been really great, but he doesn't have all of his abilities. So he's either going to have his dash and his knock-up, but then he's kind of going to be like, well, crap, I don't have all the rest of my kit. But look right now, he's got the Sejuani.
He's going to be meeting a very angry Zinza right here with red buff. Instant flash away from the Sejuani, and that's an instant win for that early game Zinza, who wants to pull that Sejuani out of her jungle and successfully doing so.
I don't know, that's perfectly well played as is in right now, because you don't want to 1v1 that. You're going to have to play the respect game and be like, yeah, I'm going to get out of here right now. I'm not even fighting that. But the good news right there for the team is going, well, okay, yes, I'm sad I'm in a flash, but they know where Xin is. So they know he's hanging around that red buff in mid area. But Corki is playing a little bit aggressive, so they could potentially catch him off guard. But Xin is just going to go for that scuttle.
That's one heading towards that red buff of the Zinza as well after taking the Skull Crab, and she is going to find that luckily for her, that red buff, no! That red buff, I was about to say, has not gone down, and the Zinza is in a completely opposite side, but do you want to risk it not knowing where he is?
Oh, like, you don't want to risk anything, especially now that you've had to use your flash to kind of get out of that situation, and this Corki is being bullied in the mid lane by this Vladimir, and that has so much damage onto him right there. So there's a bit of I'd have to say there's some breathing room for them right now on the mid lane for having Vladimir, because right now the bot lane isn't doing as great as we saw. I think I'm losing my mind here, but the top laners are going at it.
Hey, oi boy, it's just the second game. You can't lose your mind on me.
Already, I can, especially when there's a Trundle pick.
Is paying a visit to the Trundle, but he's walking through our ward in the top lane, and this time the bot lane is not going that aggressive, so potentially that is giving the Xayah the time she needs to be able to scale, but like you said before, that mid lane is really suffering for X25, and that's Sejuani is in the top lane again, so we are going to be seeing a flash being forced. The stun is going to land, flash from the marker, but he has no mana. Is this going to be first blood? No! I don't believe in my eyes. He walks away with 5 HP. That Maokai had no mana for another spell, and they are going to lose that opportunity out of their hands.
Well, the way that's going right there is like, okay, they know where Sejuani is, and they do get the teleport back, so they can still keep vision to the players. This is just going to cause Xin to go into the jungle. Be like, well, I can counter jungle you now. I know exactly where you are. So that's kind of, I would say that wasn't a misplay. That was just a little bit unlucky not getting, one more auto attack in, or perhaps stunning him, popping the ice there earlier on with Sejuani. But Karma is going to run into Xin right here.
And he doesn't have mana for anything. He is going, though, to smite that little frog right there. He does have red buff, so he is very, very dangerous if he wants to be. But then you see the whole of GPLAY is getting up there onto the Karma. And it is very, very hard to be able to chase that Zinza even if he doesn't have mana. We see the back and forths in the top lane as well. Look at the huge present waiting in the bush. Oh boy, now it's getting serious.
And it's just going to run out to him, and he's going to quickly panic and run away just to avoid that present. So there is another one waiting for him. He's going to come running out, pop all the way, doing a little bit more damage. But Trundle right now, I'd have to say he's in the driving seat in this top lane. He's doing so much damage to Maokai. The pillar is going to come out, but are they going to get the kill? Could this finally be the first blood? And it is.
Oh, God,
Just
down goes
right
the
there.
Maokai. And we were saying that we're going to see the Trundle bully the Maokai late game, but this has started way too early. 6 minutes into the game, first blood. 1-on-1, the Trundle on the Maokai. No flashes for the Maokai or the Trundle, so there was no way that tree was getting away, and the Trundle took full advantage of these summoners not being up for the tree.
Well, like
Flash
also,
onto
there's
the
the mid lane.
Corki as well. Flash away from the Corki. That Zinzao is forcing so many summoners so far. I mean, we don't
no,
see teams
definitely.
ban it for nothing.
No, like the moment if you caught off guard by the Xin, like if he does use his actual gap closer to jump on you and you flash away, that's how you get away. But if you don't flash away and he lands the quick 1, 2, 3, up you go in the air, there comes more damage, he can poke you, and it's painful. You don't want to get into that situation. So the respectable flashes are coming out. I'm glad they're not tempting fate and just sticking around for it to find out if it is painful. But right now, his presence has kind of caused all lanes to be backing off. But I have to say, the saving grace for x25 right now is this bot lane. We haven't really seen the farm. The game is a little bit ahead. The Lucian is doing pretty well, especially against the Xayah, who does have the BF sword, and Lucian only has, the attack speed boots.
Well, we did see him go on this attack speed boot last time as well, and we do see the back and forth right now. There is one level advantage of that Trundle, who is chugging away half the HP of Maokai. And what do you do in this situation? Do you call your jungle, or do you get your jungle to go somewhere where it matters? Exactly like you said, into the bot lane. That bot lane was a saving grace last time. The knockup is not going to be landing, but the bind is going to be landing for the Karma right there. Do they want to go in? None of the teams is committing to that 2v2 because they have absolutely no vision of where both the junglers are.
Well, they will have vision now, like as the the Vladimir gets caught out here with the
Gonna be seen a
Corki.
turn on that Vladimir. The ultimate is gonna be going down. Let's see when he chooses to pull stopwatch for the Corki, and the Sejuani ultimate is completely going to miss. Stopwatch right now for the Vladimir as well, who doesn't have any summers. He's gonna be going down, but Rakan is in the mid lane. Ignite is gonna be popped, and Corki is going down. Lucian is arriving with the Karma, but way too late. Can they get any kills in return? The kill is gonna be popped and saved him right on the last second. He's gonna be flashing towards the Rakan as well. Double kill again.
The action doesn't end there.
We have the last game repeated, but the Trundle is trying to dive the Maokai, and knockback is going to stop him dead in his tracks. But that wave is getting pushed in against the Maokai, and there is no teleport to reply to that.
And like that was kind of a little bit of a misplay from the Vladimir, kind of being like, oh damn, he has stopwatch, oh damn, I have stopwatch, and trying to get the Q out in the last minute, but not able to do that. So he is going to go down, and there's a lot of CS denied right there, as it is going to push straight under his tower, and Corki is running around. Look how fast he's going right now.
He does have his packets, and let's see how he's gonna choose to use it. Is he gonna be able to use it aggressively and potentially get a kill for his team? Those teams have 1k ahead, 1k in between them. I'm sorry, not ahead. The Rakan is going to be paying a visit in the mid lane to just force the Corki out of his packets.
The top lane
Trundle is just bashing the tower in the top lane. We are going to be seen very soon. There we go. First blood tower for the Trundle in the top lane. And there is going to be huge trouble from that troll.
Oh no, like right now, Maokai can't deal with him. He can't even 1v1. He's pushed under tower. Now that his turret's gone and he's playing a little bit aggressive, Trundle, this opens up the map for him right now. He can go start roaming around. They're going to force it, and that's keeping the Maokai out of this game. We haven't really seen Maokai teleport to bottom. We haven't seen him do anything aggressive. Meanwhile, Trundle's just, farming up, staying in the head, and just, continuing to push. And until they do the lane swap or until they force somebody there, they can't really do it.
Setuani has engaged onto that Zinzao. The ultimate is going to be popped and it's going to miss from the Setuani. Down goes the Corki from all that damage from the Zinzao, and the TP from Maokai is going to get cancelled. He is leaving his teammates in their own fate. He would rather push that wave, and maybe that is the best decision he can make right now. The Mountain Drake is the next objective that GPLAY have onto their side, and that Zinzao does quite a lot of damage that early in the game. Rakan is gonna be diving that Lucian. Knockup is going to land and he's gonna disappear. First kill going down to the Zaya, and the Corki wants to be gaining a piece of that Vladimir into the mid lane, but what he doesn't know is the Trundle is on his way. Where is the pillar going to land? There he is, and he's gonna be jumping straight through it. They are trying to keep on diving in, but that Vladimir cannot tank forever. Setuan is gonna be finding herself, and Zinzao Find is gonna be landing down from the Kama. Same as the Q. He goes down to that Setuani and the Maokai at the same time. Replies with an objective in the top lane. That somehow kind of fixes the fact that they missed that Mountain Drake. That was objective for objective right there for x25. It is a small breath of air being 2k behind 11 minutes into the game.
Well, like Corki just missed two ultimate charges right there on, the Vladimir, who does pop this thing, but you do see a teleport come out from the mid. So he's going to get right back into this.
Exactly, he's going to be returning to his lane and he's going to be pushing the wave, but that Corki has no TP and he is going to have to be back in soon. There he goes.
Well, like that's going to force him up, he's going to push the wave, but Rakan does spot off a Sejuani, and Sejuani is going to be a Sejuani and just run off like that, just to use the ball jump through the side there and just clear some vision. But the lane swap is there, but Maokai is hanging around in this top lane.
Karma is helping that Corki in the mid lane to push that wave. You really need to get that wave out of the way. We maybe should have seen a lane swap here for x25 as well to mirror what GPLAY is going for right here. Putting that Lucian against that Trundle. Let's see how that 1v1 is going to end up. I'm saying that it is going to be a 1v1. The Karma is joining that Lucian into the bot lane, and that passive of Lucian is helping a lot with siege and towers. They are going to be engaging onto the Maokai in the top lane, although he is quite tanky even if he's one kill down.
Yeah, he's still tanky, and he's still kind of a threat to, with his ultimate and to catch people off guard. So it's not all and done for the top lane. Definitely not. But right now, Trundle is, I'd have to say, going to get caught out.
Setuani has found herself a troll right there. Does he have a flash? He does, but he's not going to get to use it. Down he goes to Setuani. 3 kills for that aggressive lady with the big boar. And the Maokai is going to be engaging onto that Zaya in the top. The Rakan is pretty far away, but he's going to be coming back. He has been waiting from the Zaya. Maokai ultimate is going to be going down. He wants to run away as fast as possible, and that's what he's going to do. Bot lane of GPLAY is going to be backing off, and no summoners are going down today.
You see, the moment they called it the Trundle, they made the response to the top lane. They're like, well, can we get this top lane as well as Vladimir plays aggressive in the mid lane, just trying to get an empowered Q off there. Does pop the ultimate. They are going to try to dive him. And that is why he bans in right there.
Beautiful flash to get away from the knockup, but it wasn't just the Rakan exactly that was right there. There was a Zinzao as well, and all he has to do is charge, and you're going to be going down very, very shortly. Bind is going to be connecting onto the Rakan, but it's not going to be landing because he's going to be jumping away pretty shortly. And this game is going pretty much the way the last game was going, even though it starts much earlier this time.
Well, like, the Lucian is ahead of the Zaya, but it's starting to get to the... Not that far, exactly. And Zaya right now does scale a lot better into the late game than Lucian does currently. I wouldn't say way too much, but at the moment Zaya does a lot of damage in the team fight, whereas Lucian now kind of has to rely on his abilities, and his ultimate doesn't do the most damage compared to Zaya. So there is the kind of like advantage for the team fight that they can play off of the Zaya, but they are playing it perfectly with Lucian. They're not letting him get behind, and he is still 2-1-1.
Rakan trying to get an entrance there, but he can't really, so that means re-engage with the set of x25. Zaya almost goes down, but now GPLAY are onto the Setsuwanis. He's not gonna be going down today because he is very tanky, and the Maokai has been flanking all this time with the teleport. Is the ultimate gonna be going down? He doesn't have it, he's gonna be flashing away. Setsuwani is caught in the middle of the whole fight. Every single member of x25 is so slow and so low, and 3 of them are going to be going down. Only the Maokai left between 4 angry members of GPLAY. Sintao doesn't even get right there. He's just going to be summoning the Richter and 4 for nothing for GPLAY, and that Cork is going to be going down
nothing.
Ace for GPLAY. 15 minutes into the game, having their eyes on 2 tier 2 towers at once.
Well, like, there's a team fight if you really want to go think, and they do have the Rift Herald going, so this could very well just be an inhibitor also going with this one, as only, you know, Karma and Lucian are going to be up to defend this one, and Corky is going to be up soon, so they are, you know, backing off. They are, like we spoke about in the first game, they're playing this methodical. They're getting, you know, the picks, they're getting the objective, and then they're falling back, playing it safe, and right now they're in the driving seat early on. So the question is, how are they going to get back into this? They're going to have to try to catch somebody off guard. They're going to have to try, you know, maybe get a Baron steal, you know, try to get back into this one. So we're going to have to see exactly how they play this team fight. But right now they are behind. You see the gold lead right there is just being just a little bit obvious. And look at the objective, 6 towers to 2. And we're not even, you know, at the 20-minute mark. We're still 16 minutes into this one.
Well, last game we did see that Setsuwani was kind of paying off. She was everywhere, and that dash right there from Lucian is going to mean his certain death. Where are you going, sir? We have taunts, and we have knockups, and we have diamonds, and we will kill you. And we saw him last game overextend, and he does it again. And x25 is gonna be paying for these extra moves that he's putting right there. 8k ahead is the gold difference between x25 and GPLAY, and GPLAY are heading towards the victory head first with an inhibitor open. And what I wanted to say was the big difference last game was that this Setsuwani was giving them the lead. This time though, we saw the Setsuwani being bullied out of her jungle, while last game she was actually invading the Kazakhs. Now we have the Vladimir getting onto that Koki. That Koki has no man and he has no reason to still be alive. That little sticker is gonna be popped there. Everything okay for GPLAY, and now x25 are trying to get any big one. That pillar is just gonna be spawning onto their face and stopping them dead in their tracks.
Like right now, you don't want to be face checking things. That's one of the last things you want to do, especially as, you know, the Lucian is the AD carry. So, like we spoke about, how do they get back into this? Is not get caught off guard, stay as a team, and, you know, potentially catch, you know, the Vladimir out, or, you know, the Rakan or something. Because right now Zaya is going to be a threat. 4-0-2 Zaya is now definitely scaling ahead of that 2-3-1 Lucian, and we didn't see that last game, and we saw them, you know, still come back from it. So there's a lot of threat damage right now.
Oh, they have got the Maokai into their doubling. He's trying to get away. He's going to get away with the Sliver Slave. No, he's not. Trundle is somehow going to be taking him down, and they have their eye on another inhibitor tower while the other inhibitor is still naked. So that now they have their eye. The cooling is going to be coming down, but it does 0 damage this time because that Lucian is not fed. It's the Zaya that's fed 4, 0, and 3 this time. And x25 are on the back foot. GPLAY want to take this clean sweep, and they have their eye on a second inhibitor. 2 inhibitors down for GPLAY. 18 minutes into the game. What can x25 reply with?
Right now, you know, they're 10k gold lead, well, 10.3k gold lead, and you're gonna have to what? You're gonna have to find yourself a Baron. Well, Baron is only gonna be up in, you know, 2 minutes, and your base has already been shredded. So it's kind of hard to make a comeback into this game. They could still turn it around if they do catch more guard. Is what is going to
the poor lady right there. The Setsuwani ultimate is gonna be going. I don't even know where it actually went, and they are going to be cutting them off, and the camera's going to be going down, and that Lucian is trying to get any scraps he can, any kills he can, but he is surrounded by 5 angry members of GPLAY because they want to be getting it done with already, and they are bashing down that last tier 2 tower that is standing. Now they have their eye on that inhibitor tower. The death timers are pretty long, and the only one who's alive is that Kogi, who's going to be using that packet towards the Xayah, but the Xayah has the ultimate. Knows it doesn't, but he is going to be paying anyway because it's 5 people there from GPLAY. Another ace they're going to get, and that's not the only thing they're going to get. 3 inhibitors less than 20 minutes into the game. What is going on?
Like, that's the thing. Like, right now, I'd say to get back into this game, you're gonna have to try steal a Baron, you're gonna have to try steal something else, you're gonna, I don't know, have to catch him off guard. And you're not gonna get caught off guard when 3 of your inhibitors are down, your base is exposed, you're forced to, you know, stop all these hordes and waves of super minions, and then try and win the game with that. So now it's just hit the 20-minute mark, Baron is up, and I can pretty see GPLAY just going, well, we might as well take it. They're kind of stuck in their base. So to come back into this one is going to be, they're going to need, I wouldn't say miracle, but they're going to need a lot of work. Basically, just something a little bit short of a miracle.
Not going to say a miracle, but it is going to be a miracle because that team is 14k down right now. GPLAY is not playing games. They are going to go straight for that Baron, and that Baron is going to mean really deep trouble for x25 because there's going to be 6 Baron up super minions running into their base.
Oh yeah, and like, to kill them right now, as you know, the Lucian isn't really fed, and they don't have too much burst damage, and they don't have big, like, amazing AoE.
Have got themselves a Corki in the mid lane trying to desperately push that wave away. It's not going to happen. 0 and 7, unfortunately, for the side of x25. That Miller, the Corki has not worked out for them at all.
No, definitely
that
not.
That is the last stand right here. Redemption going down for GPLAY, and that Xayah is actually diving the Lucian in the fountain. He's gonna be finding the kill right there. What can the Sejuani and the Kama do? The answer is nothing. 2 towers gonna be going down, and the Vladimir just dive in the fountain because why not? He has nothing better to do. And that Nexus is gonna be going down to super minions. GG, well played for GPLAY BG, and they just do it. They just take it clean sweep, like we said. They didn't want to play no games. They just wanted to get this over with, and that's what they did.
I don't know, right? That's like how, if you were looking at a textbook and you go, how do I play this game? Okay, safe, methodical, get the early advantage. They did it all. They, you know, and they just made it to the point where by the time Baron was up, like, we're not even talking like late game. By the time Baron was spawned, the base was destroyed. You have all these waves of super minions. They forced to deal with this just to, you know, Corki was all the way in mid trying to stop these poor minions, and then they just take Baron for free, and then they just push an end. Like, that was just so textbook performance right there that you can't come back from that. There's not much you can really do that when you're that far behind. And that was a completely different style than we saw in the first game. Like, they were ahead in the first game, and then we saw the comeback from GPLAY. This time, we just saw GPLAY sit down in the driving seat and go, well, hello guys, we have the Xayah this time as well.
We have the Xin Zhao.
And the Xin. Picks right now. I would have banned Xayah and Xin.
Basically what we said in the first game is that GPLAY is... They play everything pretty much. You can't ban them out. So whatever strong pick is left that is unbanned, they're going to say, oh cool, we're just going to grab this and then create a composition around this to make it look even stronger. And that's what they did the game 1. They grabbed the Xayah, who was a permaban our last games that we saw, and they created a composition around her. They put the Rakan there, and they're like, look guys, we know that Xayah is 0 and 4 down, but just wait a minute, let her scale, let us get a good engage with the Rakan, and that's what they did and turned it around. Picked up on these mistakes by the ADC of x25, where he overextended a couple of fights, and he was all alone, getting caught, and he was the only one who was actually fed. So the second game, you would have expected to see that Xayah banned. But not only the Xayah was not banned that game, but the Xin Zhao was also open. So that is the question. Do you give a team that can play everything 2 very strong picks?
Like, that's what I was going to get into, like, right there is, yes, they play a lot of champions. Yes, they're going to make a lot of champions that don't work. Usually, they're going to make them look pretty strong. But out of all the picks you can ban, please ban Zaya. It's almost up there with the Kalista ban. Like, we've seen the Kalista ban permanently, and then when we don't, we see them get punished. But now you let Zaya through, okay? At least if you don't want to ban Zaya, just ban Rakan. Don't let them get the combo or something, deny that. This right now, going to this preseason, if you ask anybody who plays like solo queue, or what are your first bans, or if you go into a tournament and go like, what should we ban? It's normally Zaya Rakan. Like, these champions are so strong. I'd rather
Zinzao,
play against
Ezreal.
anybody. And like, well, they left the Zinzao in there too. And like, okay, yes, fair enough. You don't have a limited bans. You get rid of the Ezreal. But right now, I think playing against the Ezreal would have hurt less than the way the Zaya played.
Most likely, because I think the Lucian does have a way to be able to play around the Ezreal, because it's like mainly a skill shot champion. So taking these risks, like seeing that it didn't work out against the Zaya and being able to ban it and leaving something else open, could potentially also work, especially against these teams that, like we said at the start, they can literally take any champion that's open and create a composition around that champion, and that's what we saw. So good game, well played again to GPLAY, who is going to be joining Bontech, moving on to the next phase. We are not saying goodbye, though, to X25 and THR. They're going to be moving to the lower bracket. So make sure exclamation mark bracket onto the chat to be able to see live how the brackets have formed. So do we have any last words for tonight? Because that has been a very quick night, actually.
This is probably the quickest night we've ever seen, but kind of quick, very skilled, and I don't know. Tonight was extremely. I don't know. I love to see the way these new picks are coming in. We're starting to see, more and more champions. You seem to see a different composition come in. We see early game, late game focus. It was really great now to watch, and I just want to say, try your luck in the exclamation mark giveaway to win yourself an ESL 2.0 chair and some vouchers for the ESL store. Check out social. You can find out all the updates there. Exclamation mark commands to get these commands if you forgetful like me. And then exclamation mark brackets to actually view the brackets to see who else is, falling to the lower brackets and who's going to progress. So that's all from me. The last sellout there. So perfect game right there.
All right, then. So this is it for us, guys. We are going to be seeing you, though, tomorrow for the game that everybody has been waiting for. The Greek Showdown is happening tomorrow. Gucci Gang versus Different Dimension versus Gucci Gang. The last game of the best of 3 series is going to be going down tomorrow, and you don't really want to miss it. Do they want to miss it?
No. No.
They don't want to miss it.
I don't wanna miss
5:30 CT. Mark your clocks and mark your calendars. It's going to be tomorrow, Thursday, 23rd of November. From myself, Georgia Traveling for Us, and Brody Ghost of Vernon, we wish you a lovely night. And don't forget, we are going to see you tomorrow right here for the last game of GG versus DD. Good night, guys.